Hi,
Hey
Lydia.
boss, we've got a bit of a situation. The client shared
Okay.
their own custom data
Hmm.
set, but they're working with a really tight budget.
All
They're
right.
expecting GT level performance while spending about 50 times less than
Mm-hmm.
what it would normally cost. We'll need to figure out how to make this work.
Okay.
What do you
Fine.
think is the best way to approach this?
Okay, Lydia, I've understood the problem. The first thing that comes across in my mind for resolving this kind of issue is using a small language model, which can save a lot of money for a particular client. And I could see the data that we are going to use, that client wants to utilize is environmental compliance data that we can easily get and train our custom model, which is small language model on top of that, and we can save a lot of money for this client and make our client happy. Another way is to utilize liquid AI, which is also kind of a small language model. So I'll just walk you through the architecture and let's see how it works. So this is the architecture that I was talking about. Let's start with the very beginning with analysis and preparation. This is where we gather and get our data ready. Think of it like setting the foundation for a strong building. Okay. So our journey begins with environmental regulations and permits data set. This is crucial. Okay. It includes all rules, limits, and conditions that business needs to follow. We pull this data into Jupyter Lab, which is a powerful environment within Amazon SageMaker Studio. Here, our data scientists and engineers can kind of interactively explore, clean, and prepare this complex data. We might be looking at permit conditions, emission limits, or waste management guidelines. Okay, so this data is what we are gonna get it from the client. We are also gonna utilize some of the public data set to train our model. Next comes up is the pre-processing part. This crucial step where we transform our raw data into clean, usable format. We are talking about things like normalizing data, handling missing values, or extracting specific information from text. The output is our input clean data ready for the next stage. Okay, so here is what we where we are going to store the input clean data in our S3 bucket. Moving to the heart of the process, we have fine tuning and evaluation. This is where we train and test our compliance models, okay, like small level language models. With our clean data, we move to fine tuning. This could involve training machine learning models to identify compliance risk, categorize regulatory documents, or even kind of predict potential violations based on operational data. The dotted line here indicates that the pre-processing step directly feeds into the fine-tuning process. Okay. After fine-tuning, we are gonna rigorously evaluate our models to see like we are getting correct output based on the prompts. We are gonna create multiple versions depending on the requirement and store it in the model registry. This is where we are gonna store the model artifacts. Next, moving to the next part, we are which is the hosting part, where we are going to store the small language models. We can host it in two ways. One is with the SageMaker hosting. Another is uh, Amazon Bedrock compliance model import, custom model import. Okay, this is a monitoring part where we are going to use Amazon CloudWatch and Amazon CloudTrail. Okay, so to help us monitor the performance and health of our models, uh, CloudTrail is going to provide the complete audit trail of all API calls and actions essential for demonstrating with the internal regulations. Okay, so here you have it, a robust architecture for creating a small level language models in Amazon. So once this architecture is implemented, we'll have certain benefits like lower inference cost, low our compute cost. Apart from that, this model will be more accurate since it is going to be trained on a specific domain data. So these are the benefits that we are going to get with this small, okay, as compared to the large language model.
Thanks, boss, for coming up with this great architecture. I will get the developer team ready and share plan of action by tomorrow. Goodbye.